Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Joyride. This is the first episode of 2020 I haven't recorded since before Christmas break. So, this is episode 7. If you're joining now, if you're not, welcome to episode 1. So, today we have Mr. Gavin Vanna, who has been on the show previously. We talked about Grammy nominations and the Joker.
Joker was a good film.
And then this is Coltyn. Coltyn's first time on the show, and yeah, that's
Happy to be here.
Yeah, Coltyn.
The breakdown for today's show, we're going to talk about the 2020 Oscars that happened this Sunday, or last Sunday, films we've seen in 2020 so far, and we're going to close out with talking about what's coming to the box office this weekend. So, without further ado, let's dig into the Oscars.
Let's dig.
Deep dive.
So, last Sunday, February 9th, was the 2020 Oscars, and it was interesting, to say the least. There's a lot of speeches, I'd say, that were unexpected. People were cut off really fast. Except for Joaquin Phoenix. His speech was
4 minutes.
Top 5 minutes, basically.
But Parasite won big awards that night. Let's start off with, it got Best Film, Best Director, Bong Joon-ho, Best International Film, Best Production Design, and Best Original Screenplay. Now, does anybody want to talk about any opinions they have on why it won so much? Even though we haven't seen it.
It just
I saw it.
It just looks like really intriguing. Like it's just like a different style choice entirely, you know.
Yeah.
You know?
I thought it. Okay, I saw it. It's very psychologically.
Doesn't it change like the
terrifying.
themes like rapidly throughout the
Yeah.
film?
Yeah.
Just constantly shifting.
As someone who's seen like Parasite and Joker, I know there's a lot of debate there for best film.
Mhm.
I think people who are debating saying Joker should have won, they tackle a lot of the same subjects, and I think Parasite does it better. Like.
Yeah. Also, Parasite won Best Original Screenplay, and it's in Korean. So that's. I thought that was interesting that it won Best International Film and Best Picture also.
Yeah, I was expecting, I think, it just to get handed the Best International Film, and that's it.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I wasn't expecting any other ones.
It's really great though. Just the fact that it can get so many, tackle so many awards.
Especially at the Globes, it did really well. And that was the first time people had seen how good it was to critics and stuff like that. So the Globes kind of set the way, I'd say, for it.
Also a freaky movie, but
Yeah.
yeah.
It's terrifying.
You should see it, Gavin.
I need to. I'm excited.
We'll go see it. They brought it back to Movie House, so you should all go watch
I'm
it.
not spoiling this one for myself.
You haven't seen it?
I haven't.
Mm-mm. Okay, well, let's dig into supporting actress. This
This
is
one was
interesting.
confusing. This was confusing.
Laura Dern won for The Marriage Story.
Who are the other nominees?
Florence Pugh for Little Women. I couldn't tell you who else was nominated. I just know that I wasn't expecting Laura Dern to win.
Yeah, she was in. I mean, she played an important role. Can I say my opinion?
Yeah,
My 2 cents
yeah.
here? So, I felt she played in a relatively important role in the film, supporting actress wise, because there wasn't really much outside of Charlie and Nicole for most of the film. But at the same time, I just feel that she's just a listener more than anything. It's she has her own characteristics and she helps with the as the divorce lawyer and everything. But I just feel that she was just kind of all right, here's the situation, let's go in there.
She wasn't watching it. I wasn't thinking her performance stood out.
Yeah.
But also they don't want you to get distracted from the plot of what's going on.
They're just there to support it.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting it to be supporting actress Oscar worthy, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But she won for Marriage Story. Best supporting actor was Brad Pitt for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I saw this movie. I wasn't planning on seeing it because I don't know. I didn't really want to see it.
You're not a fan of Tarantino?
No. I mean, not that I'm not, but I just wasn't planning on going and watching it in theaters. I was going to wait till I could rent it.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's very long.
Yeah,
It's
3 hours and 12 minutes.
Really?
Is it 3 hours?
It's longer than The Irishman.
Or no, 2 hours and 58. One of those two.
That's longer than, 2 hours?
It was 2 hours. It was practically 3
It's
hours
almost Endgame.
Yeah.
It was okay. I mean, I don't know much about Quentin Tarantino's movies. I've just
You gotta
seen
watch more of them.
Pulp Fiction, Kill Bill. I think that's it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he did good though. I think he did deserve to get Best Supporting Actor because he had so much of a side plot, I'd say. Like,
a lot of detail with his films.
and, well, Brad Pitt.
Oh, I thought we were talking about Tarantino in general.
Because he had, like, this whole side plot besides from his storyline with Leonardo DiCaprio. So I thought it was well-deserved, but I don't remember who else was nominated for Best Supporting Actor. No.
How satisfied were you with these nominations overall?
For Supporting Actor? Or just, like...
Just, like, in general. Just, like, all the actors that were chosen.
I was upset about Best Director. And for Best Actress, because Awkwafina won Best Actress at the Golden Globes, and they didn't nominate her for... So I thought that was interesting. And going into that, Best Actress was Renee Zellweger for Judy. I did not see that movie.
Did not see Judy either.
It's about Judy Garland, right?
Yeah, it's about Judy Garland and
That
just,
had
like,
been-
stuff throughout her life.
Yeah, the photos I've seen of it, she looks so different. Like, she looks just like her, I'd say. But apparently her...
It's like it's a biopic or something. I'm messing up.
Yeah, the photos I've seen of her, she looks just like her. I've heard good reviews about it. I wasn't expecting her to get it, but also I haven't seen it, so.
Yeah, she must have done pretty good if she beat Marriage Story, Scarlett Johansson, and
Jojo
that was
Rabbit
better
as
than I
well,
was expecting too, and Jojo Rabbit.
That was, she did so good in that. And going into Best Actor was Joaquin Phoenix. Adam Driver was also nominated, and I think he should have got it.
I think like Joaquin Phoenix put on like a stellar performance, and just like everything about that like movie with his character and all was so like fascinating. But I feel that like with Adam Driver, there's just so much like authenticity and like realness to his character, and like you really felt that throughout like Marriage Story and all. Obviously.
Especially the way that they like did Marriage Story, where it just seemed so. Well, I don't want to say not scripted, but
it seemed very organic.
Yeah, it seemed really organic, and I liked that the fight scene.
Well, I mean, the great thing about his character too is that it's just like you can totally like just that's obviously the role of an actor, but like you can just look at him and be like, that's like Charlie. You know, you wouldn't just see like, oh, that's Adam Driver playing Charlie. And that was something that really stood out to me with most of the film, especially because like his character is like portrayed as this very like calm guy on the surface and all, and then there's that like scene where it's just like
where they
it all falls apart.
Yeah,
it's like a great just whole range of his entire character.
A lot of people on Twitter at least said that was not acting.
Yeah, it was like overacting, and I was just like, this is just a normal.
And it was all pretty much the end of that scene, or was the whole scene one shot?
I think. Well, I mean,
think
it
was
wasn't
made
one
to
shot.
look like one shot.
It was made to.
But I know that the
it
end
felt
of
like
it
one
was
conversation.
the end of it where he just like lost it. That was. I mean, I couldn't do it, so I think he should have got Best
I mean,
Actor.
as much as I like Kylo, especially in that movie.
His name is Adam Driver, as he's referring to.
Kylo Driver.
Sorry. But, I don't know, I feel like for as just like a person, I feel like Joaquin, this was like, personally, I think like, that was the outcome I enjoyed. Just because like, I think Adam Driver is going to get one. And like,
it's
he's like on
he's on
his
rise.
He's on his way up.
Yeah.
But for like Joaquin Phoenix,
deserves
his
it,
whole story,
I feel.
like even when he got casted as the Joker, people were like, what is like happening?
I remember that.
And just like after his speech, I'm like, okay, I'm okay with this.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not against it. It's just that like, I feel that like something cool about him as well is that it's just like he hasn't really been like gotten any accolades like in the past. Like, award-wise.
He hasn't been relevant in years either.
Oh yeah, that
really.
is true.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like he's a phenomenal. Have you guys watched Her?
Yeah.
Such a good movie, but like.
Yeah, that was really.
I feel that it's like well deserved, and it's like his time to get one.
Yeah, as a like Joker, all that aside, as like an actor, I think it was his time to get one.
Yeah, and he really, I don't know, he was just really like authentic and all that performance.
Yeah, Kylo will get his.
He will get his one day.
I do think that.
He will get his one day.
I do think that Joaquin Phoenix did deserve it, but I also knew he was gonna win. He'd won at like the BAFTAs. I think he won. Globes,
this was
he
his
won.
year.
Yeah, Actors Guild. I'm pretty sure he won. But when he won, we just watched his speech. He had no reaction. Like he knew it too, but he was really humble about it.
Honestly, like the start of it especially seemed a lot like the Joker.
Yeah,
like,
he looked very
like,
serious.
He was like, stop.
Yeah,
the
because they were all clapping.
uncomfortable.
And as soon as he got up there, he was like, stop, and everyone was like, oh.
That was just an emotional speech, though, I feel.
Yeah, I thought he was going to cry. I'm surprised. Or maybe he did. I don't know. I thought he was going to.
Yeah, I just thought it was cool how passionate he was getting up there, and all, especially just like how quiet it was, too.
Yeah. All right. So, best film was Parasite, as we said. We kind of already went into that. It was against Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I think Ford versus Ferrari.
Yeah,
Was nominated.
I haven't watched Ford.
I saw
I
Ford
know.
versus Ferrari.
Wasn't Christian
Very
Bale in it?
surprising.
Really?
Advertised horribly.
Yeah.
I would not have seen that movie, and my parents were like, "Hey, let's go see this movie," and it was 100 times better than I thought. Also, not at all what I thought it was about, because I saw the trailer.
I don't know what it's about.
Yeah, the trailer was like, oh, racing, Matt Damon,
That's
Christian Bale, blah blah blah. But the movie was good. It was.
I heard it was like
movie.
a father and son kind of story.
Father son like friendship story. It was good. I recommend that movie.
Friendship story.
I think
Friendship
it
story.
won like
It won
best film editing.
either that. Yeah,
Or
it
sound
won
editing.
something.
I
It won,
think
I
it
think,
was
sound. A certain editing.
I hadn't seen it. That was nominated Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. There was Joker. Was Marriage Story nominated
For what again?
for Best Picture?
Um,
The Irishman was.
Irishman was.
Yeah.
You guys watched The Irishman?
Mm-hmm.
I did
Pretty
not.
good.
It's
I started
long.
it. It's long.
It's really long.
Okay, there's so
I
much
Best
mean,
thing about Ford versus Ferrari, you said it won best editing. I remember that now because the long movie too did not feel long.
Oh really?
Like
That's good.
Yeah, I like The Irishman.
I felt like I was in a time warp when I was watching it, though.
It took a while. Same thing with, well, not that I thought Marriage Story was long, but because it felt so organic, I was like, oh, it's still going.
I thought
Oh,
it
they
was
still
I
have
know
all this,
Irishman
yeah.
was up for special effects.
Yeah, with all the de-aging and all.
Oh, I thought that was gonna win. That
Yeah.
was so cool.
Yeah.
Like that's
What won
hard.
special effects?
Oh.
Star Wars.
It was,
Star Wars was up for it.
Yeah, Rise of Skywalker was up. Yeah. It did not win. I don't know what won. I don't think it was Parasite,
I don't think it was.
but
Okay, stick with me. I got
as
it.
you do that, we'll talk about. Well, my prediction for best film was either Parasite or Joker, just
Yeah.
because like.
1917.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about 1917.
This is great.
Well, that's perfect. Going into our next topic is films we've seen so far in 2020. 1917 is probably the best film I've seen so far in
good.
2020.
So good.
There's just Roger Deakins is the cinematographer. He won best cinematographer.
It's well deserved.
Oh, very. There's this one scene. It's not a spoiler.
Isn't
There's-
it all one scene?
There's this one scene where they're in
Actually,
like
Colton?
when Schofield, that's his name,
Yeah.
Schofield. He's in this abandoned city, and he runs out of a abandoned building where
Yeah.
he like meets this girl.
That scene was kind of glorious.
That's
though.
my
That was a
favorite
beautiful
scene. He's like running through all of these broken buildings, and you see like these flare guns in the air,
Just the
or
lighting
like
was so
the flare
wonderful.
lights in the air, and I don't know how to explain
That
it.
didn't look like, that looked otherworldly. That was amazing.
Yeah, and I saw the behind the scenes for that, and they had 6 months pre-production before because they had to like time their
For that scene?
choreography. No, before the movie.
Oh, for the movie itself,
Yeah.
yeah.
They had to time their choreography. For that, they like used flashlights on like a little demo, like a little model of the city. They
Mhm.
used flashlights on like how to time it.
I see.
It was pretty
Gotcha.
crazy. That's the best thing I've ever
Yeah.
seen in cinematography ever.
I don't know. It was just, everything about that film felt so, I think this year, like especially just with all the films I've been watching, they feel so natural and like realistic, and that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I feel
Sonic's really gonna do that.
I know. That's going to be a grueling like thriller, a psychological thriller.
Psychological horror.
A man just starts seeing a blue hedgehog running around.
We'll get into that.
Yeah, we'll get into that in a bit.
What
But-
movies are you referring to? Like
I'm talking to
Marriage Story?
1970. Yeah, just like I'm talking about in general. Just like with Joker and like 1917 and Marriage Story, all of them just have like a very weird organic feel, and that's crazy. But back to 1917, I don't know. I was just so like amazed by that film at some points, especially just like another scene just going down the rapids as well. That was a really
Oh, when he jumped off the
Yeah.
bridge, yeah.
I don't
That
know.
'cause-
Everything about that was just so intense. I felt like very, like most movies, I'm just kind of like whatever, but it kind of gave off the same feeling as Dunkirk, you know?
It did. Did you see Dunkirk?
No.
So
What?
Colton's
Sticking
really
with it.
losing
I haven't
here.
seen
Yeah, so Colton's
1917
lacking.
or-
Hasn't
Dunkirk
seen
was good.
1917.
It wasn't like I think 1917 was better than Dunkirk.
I just felt like the intensity and the tension
No,
there.
yeah, no, I did like Dunkirk. It was there was a lot of like storylines going on throughout.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
This one was just-
1917. It's gonna be hard to top for like my
Yeah, and it's so tough to talk about like without spoiling it. 'Cause-
1917.
Yeah,
I'd
because there's
appreciate
just so, there's just so much wonderful stuff that goes into it. Even just like when characters, this ain't a spoiler, When
Ain't a spoiler.
This ain't a spoiler. When characters like get injured in the film, it doesn't feel like this big dramatic scale. It's literally like it's a very like cringe-inducing feeling. It's very uncomfortable.
Oh yeah, I know exactly.
You're just like,
yeah, it's not a spoiler.
like at any point it happens. So I just think it's like a
That's how
remarkable
war
film.
movies definitely feel.
Mm-hmm.
Cause they.
I feel this one in
always something.
particular, because like most of the time it's like screaming. It's like This
Yeah.
one was just like very slow and
There's
just
a lot
like
of injuries.
real.
unsettled. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like they were dying or something.
Well, I think this is the perfect time to talk about Rise of Skywalker,
Oh yeah.
which is Coltyn and I's
So
favorite
from
movie.
great films to
From great films to what was the Rotten Tomato score?
I mean,
It was low.
I mean,
it's not awful in my opinion.
I thought it was interesting.
It was a little bit disappointing.
Yeah, it
but
was very
no matter what, it was gonna be a disappointment.
Yeah, because it's the last
Yeah.
one. But I don't know
Like
what
the
I was
Skywalker.
expecting more. I'm not gonna spoil it. Well,
I mean, they ruined themselves when they had Ryan Johnson come in for episode 8, because it kind of
Were they
negated
trying-
the ability to have one consistent like storyline and setups.
Mhm.
So when you have different directors,
just like a complete thematic shift. From,
basically, yeah.
like
So they basically had story like points set up in 7 that J.J. Abrams did, that in episode 8 Ryan Johnson like kind of steered away from. J.J. Abrams comes back, kind of steered away from everything he
Yeah.
did, which made it seem like a little bit of a mess in my opinion.
we saw it twice. Or
Don't
yeah,
see it twice.
Don't see it twice. I went before.
You guys want to go a third time?
Oh my God, no! It's still playing. So my God. I went before Christmas, and then we went in 2020. I don't even remember when it was, but no one was in there. There was like one group of people, and we were just. I couldn't not laugh.
Yeah, there were some moments when you're watching back that I guess when you're in it the first time, you're like, oh, what's gonna happen? You don't notice. When you know what's gonna happen,
Yeah.
you're kind of just paying attention. Like, what was that?
What was that?
Especially the ending, but
Yeah,
I'm
the
not gonna
ending.
spoil
You just
it.
notice a lot more.
Yeah, no, I noticed a lot more,
Mhm.
like Palpatine. A lot of things about Palpatine.
You'll know what we're talking about if
Yeah.
you've seen it twice.
It'll pop in your mind right about now.
So we're gonna close out with talking about Gavin's favorite topic for Valentine's Day, which is Sonic the Hedgehog.
The
Take
best
a boo
topic
to
of
see
all time.
Sonic.
Which
but-
comes
It's like my mood
out-
to see Sonic the Hedgehog.
Comes out on Valentine's Day, which is Friday, and
This isn't gonna look well. This isn't gonna be a good.
how much did they?
All I'm saying,
They
to,
paid
like-
$2 million, for, $2 to $4 million for the redesign
This is
for
the first
Sonic
time, like,
in the animation.
a movie has been peer pressured, just into like not.
I mean, I think
being
that's. I think it's
Yeah.
cool how social media can like.
Mhm.
That's kind of concerning how social
Yeah.
media can sway.
What
and
if it's really
dictate.
good? And it's like, I mean,
Maybe it's like a very meta commentary.
like just because they went back for it.
I
Yeah,
don't-
I remember first seeing it. Huh?
Oh, it does look way better.
Mr.
Mr. Ellis is
Ellis.
chiming in.
He does.
Mr.
Yeah,
Ellis?
he does. It looks better, but I just remember seeing it the first time it came out, or the trailer.
Yeah,
Or was it even a trailer? Or
No,
was
it was
just
a trailer.
photo?
Yeah,
that
it
was
a
kind of
full-length trailer.
terrifying.
Well, they also changed. If you watch like the original trailer and the new one, it seems like they changed the pacing a lot. Because the first one, this like
Oh, very-
rat-looking Sonic, and I'm pretty
he
sure
he
they
was
had
crossing the uncanny
Yeah.
valley. It looked like
Yeah.
a human.
They had the music to like Run the Jewels or something. So it's like.
Wait,
then so
it
like,
was Run the
what?
Jewels.
Yeah, it was. And then so, coming back to the new trailer, it's more you can tell like Sonic vibe as
Yeah.
opposed
Sonic
to what they
vibe.
were supposed to do.
I
think they
saw
did it
the
better.
poster for it, like on the Movie House website, and Jim Carrey looks insane.
Yeah.
Like he looks like he's.
When does he not look insane in a movie?
But like he's like the center of the. It's so weird.
He's the
It's
center.
just like the way that he
Jim
looks.
Carrey
He's
the
like looking.
Hedgehog.
It's weird. It's like Sonic's down here, and he's just like huge, and he's on top, like above it.
I think the redesign is actually
Yeah.
pretty good though.
I'm calling it's gonna get nominated
For Best
for
Actor.
best SFX special effects.
I think
Oscar?
it's gonna win Best International.
It's gonna.
Film.
Wait, could
I'm
that
just
be? That couldn't be for best animation, could it? Because it's like not all four.
No, it
That
I
is
think we
very
have it.
interesting. Oh. Okay, so we're gonna close out because we are out of topics and time.
Yeah.
So thank you for watching Joyride. If you like this episode, you can check out my other episodes that I have on Vandegrift Media Productions. So thank you for joining me, guys,
Of course.
and thanks for watching.